Okay, once again, welcome. And then let's get straight to our topic. And then what else can we talk about before I can question you?
I could be here the whole day on that.
Okay.
We looking at income tax returns today. The term that's used is filing season, and what that means is SARS has a process of announcing when people must submit their tax returns to the revenue, and that started this year, 1 July 2015. So any person is required to submit a tax return from 1 July of this year could start submitting the tax returns to the authorities. And there's a time frame within which tax returns need to be submitted, because if they're not submitted in time, the taxpayer faces the risk of penalties for late submission of returns, which obviously you don't want to do, Santa, because it's a waste of money. I mean, if you've got the documents, the tax return is due. If you can't submit it yourself, you should get assistance, and you then submit it, and you've met your obligations.
Okay.
There's nothing worse than, say, someone who has the information, doesn't deal with the tax return, it's not going to go away, and they're now suddenly subjected to penalties, which can amount to 250 Rand per month until the tax return is filed. So it can become a fairly substantial amount of money, which is just a waste.
Okay. Okay, what I want to know is that when did the taxation 2015 for individuals commence?
Santa, the process started on 1 July, because before that, employers had to compile certain information of tax receipts, certificates to make available to employees. Once that process was finished, SARS then announced and said individual taxpayers can start filing tax returns from 1 July of this year.
And then as we continue, by when must tax returns must be submitted, either at SARS branch or via e-filing?
Most tax returns are required to be submitted by the 27th of November 2015. You may be able to submit later, sometime in January next year if you're a provisional taxpayer, but for the audience we're talking to, I think most people, the tax returns will be due by November this year, 27 November.
Who is required to submit an income tax return to SARS?
Those persons who receive a salary from one employer and that salary does not exceed 350,000 Rand for the tax year, and there's no other income, you then don't need to submit a tax return. But where a person, say, is carrying on a business, a taxi owner, a spaza shop, or any other activity, they will need to submit a tax return reflecting the income that they've generated. Also, where people have income from a salary and they have deductions, such as medical expenses, contributions to retirement annuity, or they have interest income, they would need to submit a tax return.
Okay, as we continue, the time now is 15 minutes after our 10, right here on Alex FM 89.1. We elevate your mind. Don't forget lapha ekhaya ukuthi ke sinabo ke abawa ENS and enkhuluma naye njengamanje i-guest yethu nguye ke Dr Beric Croome, a director in our tax department. Today's topic also, I must remind you, lapha ekhaya, we are talking about filing income tax returns with SARS. And siyaqhubeka and ekuqhubekeni kwethu, it's so nice and wonderful ukuthi ke simamele. Doctor, let us continue. What do you do when you have forgotten your e-filing user and name and passport?
What's important here is, Santa, most tax returns are submitted electronically today. There are very few people who still submit paper tax returns. It's still possible, but it's the exception. I think the way things have moved with SARS is the submission of tax returns electronically. And that requires that a person has a login and a username and password so that they can get into the SARS system. People forget their username and passwords. If that happens, they can contact SARS either through the call center on 0800 007 or they can log into the SARS website and reactivate and get assistance to retrieve that information. But as I say, most tax returns in South Africa today are submitted electronically, and that's why the username and password is so important, because you can't get into the system without that. And it's also obviously to protect the person that someone else can't get into a taxpayer's profile.
Then how do you avoid the imposition of penalties by SARS?
Santa, this is an important point. A person must reflect all income that they've derived during the tax year. The tax year runs from 1 March of each year to the end of February. So the tax year that we're looking at the moment started March last year to February this year. And they must reflect the income that they've generated and only claim expenses that they have actually incurred. If SARS discovers that you've omitted income or claimed expenses to which you're not entitled, they will subject you to penalties. And I was in a meeting yesterday with the revenue, and it's important for people to know that they're using people to assist them who are professional. There are too many people out there who are saying to taxpayers, we will help you complete your tax return and we will guarantee you for a refund of X or Y amount, and we want 40% of that. Now what those people are doing, some of them, it's fraud. They will inflate expenses and claim that from revenue, which then puts the taxpayer in problems, because the taxpayer will then be subjected to penalties. And when that all happens, the person who's completed the tax return has disappeared. So it's important that listeners who need assistance in tax returns either go to a registered tax practitioner, or they go to the SARS local office for assistance, or the mobile units that SARS has, as opposed to going to tax advisors who inflate refunds and claim expenses which are not proper. Because there seems to be a very big problem there. The number of refunds that have been fraudulently inflated, and that, as I say, then results in penalties to taxpayers, which is a problem.
Ngibongela makhaya kumnandi kakhulu ke ngisahleli naye ke Dr Beric Croome, a director of our tax department, and today sikhuluma ke today's topic sikhuluma ngazo ke esiflambele kanti futhi ke okwamanje masiye emakethe.
Rama spread for bread 500 grams for only
Kakhulu ke ngisahleli naye ke Dr Beric Croome, a director of our tax department, and njengoba sengishilo ke ukuthi ke today's topic sikhuluma ke filing income tax return nase SARS, and then saxoxa kanjalo ke kubalulekile ke ukuthi wazi ukuthi ke i-tax ibhadala nini kanjani and ubani futhi ukuthi ke ayibhadale. Kusenjalo ke sizokwazi ukuthi ke sisixoxe naye kanti futhi ke mawubafuna ke balaphayana ke Alexander Kopano. Kodwa ke before ke ngokunikeza address, let us continue and ngimbuze ukuthi ke ngempela eminye imibuzo ebalulekile ukuthi wena uyazi imuphi. Doctor, let us continue. Okay, what I can say is that I can ask you is that can SARS prosecute a paper where they market incorrect statement in their tax return?
It's important that taxpayers realize that when they complete a tax return, they have to make full and proper and accurate disclosure. If they don't, and they claim expenses, for example, that are inflated, or they omit income, that is a criminal offense. And SARS can actually institute legal proceedings against the person as a criminal offense, which means that the person could be fined and subject to criminal sanctions. So that is quite serious. So when the person completes a tax return, it's important that they have all the information required, submits all of their income, and also all of the expenses are proper. And I cannot emphasize that enough, because unfortunately, as I said before the break, there's too many tax advisors out there assisting people with tax returns who inflate the deductions. That, besides penalties, which is obviously a financial penalty, could give rise to a criminal prosecution also. So that's the serious offense.
What documents are required to complete the 2015 income tax returns?
When a taxpayer, say, goes to SARS or wants to complete their tax return online, it's important that they have all the information necessary to complete their return. They should have received what's referred to as the tax certificate or the RP5 certificate from their employer. That's reflecting the income that they've earned and the tax that would have been deducted by the employer from their income. That would either be income in the form of a salary, a pension, or something else. Where a person carries on business, as I say, spaza shop owner, taxi owner, or any other person, they would need to submit some type of financial statements reflecting the income they've earned and the expenses that they've incurred. You'd also need to have certificates from the medical aid scheme, setting out the number of dependents and the expenses that you've incurred. SARS also makes the point that where you overstate the medical dependents, or say you've got 2 children and a wife, but you actually reflect 6 people as dependent for medical aid purposes, that also is a criminal offense, and they would prosecute someone if they discover that. So people must reflect accurate information. You also need, if you've contributed to retirement annuity, to have the certificate in substantiation of the amount that you've incurred. And then where you have a bank account, the banks are required to give you a certificate of the interest that you've earned. And that you would need so that you can report that to SARS. And then where someone has investments like a unit trust or other assets that they've sold, they would need that information to work out the capital gain that they can show for tax purposes. So when someone's about to complete their tax return, they must collate all the information I've mentioned so that they can have that and then complete the return either online, electronically, or by visiting a SARS office.
Okay. Ngibonge lapha emakhaya kusemnandi kakhulu ke sisaxoxa nabo ke abakwa ENS kanti ke bakuphilana ENS Africa balaphayana ke office number 1 Alex and Copano Center ekhona 12 Avenue Reverend Sembuti Street lana Alexander 2090. And today's topic ke kubalulekile kuwena ukuthi you must know about filing income tax return ne-SARS. And then ke esinaye namhlanje i-guest yethu i-visitor yethu kunguye ke uDr Beric Croome. Yeah, Beric Croome. Did I pronounce nicely? Did I pronounce
yes,
rightly?
Very nicely.
Okay, 100% sure. Thank you, sir. Okay, we director yalaphana ka tax department. Sisa continue kanjalo ke isikhathi 24 minutes after the hour 10 and then ngizombamba until 8:30. But ke before ahamba ngisanaye imibuzo for yena. Does SARS ever request banking details or to be supplied by email, SMS and e-fax?
Sansa, what's important for taxpayers to know is that particularly at this time of the year, there are so many frauds going around because people will receive messages on cell phones saying, and it's presented as if it's coming from SARS, but it's not. What people are trying to do is to get banking details of taxpayers so that they can take money out of their bank account. SARS will never ask a taxpayer by SMS or email to change bank details or to confirm bank details. They will not communicate in any way about a bank account to a taxpayer. If a person changes a bank account, they have to go into the SARS office with documents from the bank to prove that. But taxpayers must be aware that SARS will not send messages asking for details of bank accounts. Those are normally what's referred to as phishing expeditions, where a fraudster is trying to get access to the person's bank account and take money out of that account. So SARS will not ask taxpayers for details of bank accounts through email or SMS.
Okay. Where a taxpayer requires assistance to complete their tax returns, what do they do?
They have a choice there, Sancho. They can either go to a bookkeeper or a person who's registered as a tax practitioner and ask them for assistance to complete the tax return. The alternative is to go to the local SARS office with all of the information that I've mentioned previously so that the SARS official can effectively help them complete the tax return. They can also contact the call center, and people have been trained at SARS to try and assist taxpayers telephonically that they can guide them through the process on how to complete the tax return. I know that SARS comes to Alex from time to time to the Copano Center.
Yes.
And they will also be available, as I understand, to assist taxpayers with completion of tax returns. So SARS tries to go out to the communities, to shopping centers and other places to assist people in submitting their tax returns.
Yebo ke lapha emakhaya isikhathi ke njengamanje 25 minutes after the hour 10 right here on Alex FM 89.1 we elevate your mind kanti ke uhlelo lomnandi kakhulu that is the powerful show from 9 until the hour 12 coffee and tea and nakanjani ke njengoba sengishilo ukuthi ke isivakashi sethu i-guest yethu i-visitor yethu nguye ke udokotela uDr Bani Dr Beric Croome, a director in our tax department, and today's topic was njengokuthi ke sesiya wrap up and before we wrapping up I think unaloko afuna ukuthi angakhuluma. Doctor, do we have something more to add from what we have discussed today?
Sancho, I think one point I'd like to add is where someone submits a tax return and there's an amount reflected as payable, that amount must be paid by the date reflected on the assessment or notice issued by SARS. It's not going to go away. Too often I think taxpayers see the amount, they might not have the funds to pay the tax immediately and don't want to deal with it. If that's the case, it's far better that they talk to SARS, try and make an arrangement to pay the tax. Because if they do not pay the tax in time, interest is running and it becomes more expensive. SARS also has extensive powers to collect tax due from taxpayers. So where an amount is due, if the taxpayer can pay it in time, they must. If they're unable to do so, they should engage with SARS, talk to them, go to the office or contact the call center and make an arrangement to pay it off over a period of time.
Okay, can you give us the number for call center?
The call center is 0800 00 7277.
Can you repeat that again?
0800
Yes.
00 7277.
7277 0800. Kanti ke lapha ekhaya nimuzwe kakhulu ke ngendlela khulume ngakhona uye wathi ke mangabe ke ufuna ukwazi mabanzi nayo ke i-text ukuthi ihamba kanjani banayo ke i-call center yabo ngakwazi ukubafonela ku 0800 00 7277 kulapho ke ungakwazi ukuthi ungakhulumisana nabo. Thank you so much to be here in Alex FM and welcome once again. Hoping we won't see you for the last time.
Only a pleasure.
Continuously you will come.
I am here fairly regularly, Sandra, so it's good to be in Alex.
Oh, thank you so much, dear. And then you did choose a song. You said you want a Sibongile or you want a Black Mambazo. So the one that I've chose for you, that it was much quicker to get, it was Sibongile. And it was like a nice song when he will say Mountain Shade. Do you like that one?
Yes, that sounds good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, sir. See you again next time.
Thank you.
It was nice being with you again.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much ke lapha ekhaya njengokuthi ke ingoma ayithandile uthe ngesonto ngiyayithanda kakhulu uSibongile uzocula kamandi makathi Mountain Shade from Sibongile